Unscripted.
Unshackled.
Uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for mature audiences only.
It's Miguel Fuller.
Holly O'Connor.
And Scotty the Body.
It's the Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast.
Only on Hot 101.5.
Hi.
Hello.
We're here, Miguel, Holly, and Scotty, all on deck. And we are broadcasting live, streaming live on the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel.
Yeah. Welcome to the YouTubes.
I just, as you hit that intro, I just got real tired.
I know.
You've been weirdly tired all week.
I don't know what's been wrong with me this week that I have just been out of it. Wait, was Thanksgiving last week?
Yes.
Okay, maybe it was just still recovering from just the bachelor party and being off. But I have just I felt it yesterday where I told Abe when I was leaving work, I was like, ooh, maybe if I have time today, I will go and do a little bike ride on the Pinellas Trail because it goes kind of by our house in Largo.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I'll do that today. And then I was bone tired where you're just I can't.
You fell asleep
move.
in the studio literally yesterday sitting up.
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, let's just talk about your health for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having any issues with sleep apnea again?
No, I would have to ask Abe, but I don't think so because normally he would tell me if I'd been snoring or not breathing.
Yeah.
When I sleep.
Just keep an eye out because obviously that's one of the biggest indicators is when you feel that tired in your waking hours.
Right.
So just keep an eye out.
But it's weird because it just the past 4 months I've been fine or whatever, and then just this week I have just been
I mean, it also could just be the culmination of all the things,
That's
including
true.
the holidays.
right.
It's a lot happening right now.
I mean, there is so much in my life happening right now.
Yeah.
That it's I just have to just look at each situation in the day and say, all right, what are we tackling today? If it's not on my plate today, I'm not worrying about it.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
That's exactly right.
There's so much in the future
Mhm.
for all of us.
Right.
And I think I said something exactly like that the other day. I'm like, well, I got to worry about this. I got to worry about that. But there's so much that I simply cannot think about it because my brain would collapse on itself.
Mhm.
So I just really try my best to worry about what's going on today and within the next few days.
Right.
Because otherwise,
It's too much.
it's too much.
I do have something that I originally put it on the schedule for the show today,
Mhm.
and then I decided to take it off
Okay.
Oh.
because I was I just don't feel like getting into it on such a huge scale because our show reaches a lot of people.
Oh dear.
And especially on a Friday, I was I just feel like this would turn into just, I didn't feel like reading the DMs. I didn't feel like
Yeah.
debating because this weekend, I plan on just literally just laying around. I feel like the past 3 months, I haven't had a weekend to just do nothing. And Abe's going to be at the music festival, next big thing, and working. I'm going to do spin class. Otherwise, I'm hopefully just going to just sit.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the last week and weekend, you had a bachelor party. People are over for Thanksgiving. You're with friends. It's just go, 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 go. That's how I feel my weekends go sometimes. Take that time to do nothing. That's when it's
Right.
acceptable.
So one of the things that we did bring up on the show a few months ago was whether or not we should make it required to be vaccinated to come to our wedding.
Yes. My girlfriend literally just asked me, what is your plan for this?
Yeah.
Well, on the wedding website, it says vaccinated only.
Yeah. So we made a decision. So before it was kind of going to be on the honor system. I mean, it is on the honor system because we're not asking for people's vaccination cards. But at first we weren't going to say anything. We're going to be whatever your comfort level is. But then Abe's dad had a liver transplant about 5 years ago. And so he has to take anti-rejection meds. And so because of that, he's had 2 shots, a booster, and when he gets his antigen test, there's basically none
Mhm.
Yeah.
because of the anti-rejection. So it's he's unvaccinated basically. And so we said, all right, well, we want him to be able to enjoy himself at the wedding. So we're you know what? We're requiring you to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
So we put that on the website where you go to RSVP. And one of Abe's friends because I've been looking at the RSVPs if they've been rolling in. They RSVP'd no. And we were like, all right, cool. And so on the website, it says, because some of our loved ones could face significant health risk associated with COVID-19, we are sadly requesting that only vaccinated guests attend our wedding. Can you please confirm that everyone in your party is vaccinated? And that's when you say yes. It's actually now that my wedding planner gave me access to like read all the comments. It's really funny to see how people are like, just like some of my gay friends are like, yeah, girl, we got poked twice. Like not knowing who's going to read this. Just those are my friends.
Yes.
So one of Abe's friends from back in the day, when it says, can you please confirm that everyone in your party is vaccinated? They said, LOL. And we were like, so I saw that yesterday morning before the show, and I was like, LOL, is that a mistake? That's weird. So then, of course, I'm like, well, let me just, because I've only met this person a couple of times. Let me go on their social media and just see.
Oh, Lord, let me dive into some dirt.
Well, this person is super, super anti-vax.
Yeah.
Super anti-mask. I don't know what their politics are. They're just one of those people.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And Abe and I have talked about this the past 24 hours. Like, it sort of pissed me off a little bit with the LOL. Like, it's just so flippant. And granted, and literally the tease I wrote out for the show this morning when we were going to talk about it was like, I know that when I'm under a lot of stress, my sensitive panties are tightly wound and they are on.
That booty's popping.
And so when I saw that, I was just like, you've been Abe's friend forever. You know his family situation. Why would you just write LOL? Like, this isn't just like a party full of, healthy 30-somethings and 20-somethings that, okay, yeah, let's be flippant about it. That's the bachelor party. No one had a mask on. We're in Key West, whatever. But like a bunch of his older relatives, my older relatives are going to be there. So we want to make sure they have a good time and that they're careful as much as possible. Why would you be so flippant as just to write LOL to that? So that just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I started to craft a message to this person, and then I decided that it was too much, and I just stopped.
What did you save the message of what you're gonna write?
No, well, it just started off with, "Hey, hope you're doing well. I'm just curious." And then after that, I was like, you know what? There's nothing I can say that would make this conversation positive or that we would both leave understanding each other. And I'm like, this isn't constructive. They're not coming. It's fine. Whatever. Am I being too sensitive?
Well, too sensitive. What? Like, are you
At
asking?
This LOL.
Are you getting too upset about it?
Are you asking whether or not you should feel how you feel? Because you can't help how you feel.
No, but was that an appropriate response? Like, if you're not coming, like they clearly RSVP'd no.
Yeah.
That's all we need to know. You're not coming.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have to write the LOL under the can you confirm?
They didn't. So unnecessary. Although obviously what prompted them to do that was this is all getting into personal belief systems.
Yeah.
Right.
So when they read the website, that obviously touched a piece of them that goes deep with this entire pandemic situation.
Yeah. Right.
And so you're saying basically you're not welcome at our wedding or maybe even as a friend if you're not vaccinated and they've chosen not to be vaccinated. That obviously hurt.
Right.
So their response to that hurt was to be snarky with an LOL, which obviously hurts you because you feel another type of way about it.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, I feel like it wasn't necessary, but that's where I think it's coming from. So, and that's where I think all of it comes from. It comes from, and I mean, now hold on. I'm doing a blanket here. So obviously people choose whether or not to get vaccinated for many different reasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is a very personal situation. I mean, we don't like to talk about things like abortion or politics, like deep seated as to why, we talk about our politics on this podcast, but like we know that they're very, that gets contentious. Same thing now with this whole situation with the pandemic and with vaccines. And so when it comes to something so like people that get themselves into different camps, usually, oftentimes they're surrounded by like-minded individuals.
Right.
So obviously you cannot see where this person is coming from, why they would even think that way. And now the fact that they're being, snarky about it, it's like, it's pissed you off. So this person might be coming at it from a different type of viewpoint and feels the same way about your message on the wedding website. So no, I don't think you're overreacting. I think that you have every right to feel that type of way. And frankly, so do they. So you're both feeling a little type of hurt in one way or another, and it expressed itself in different ways. But you're right. Like, since you're both basically, you don't want to hear from each other's viewpoint, there's no way to fix that one.
And I think the problem here is like also like you have like you can make your own choices. And I mean, we could dive deeper into that because it does affect other people. But also like you have to choose how you respond. And I think the way you responded for show purposes, it would have been funny to see the response for drama.
Right.
But for the response, that's what a lot of people get mixed up. Like you could feel how you want to feel, but then you have to choose how you want to respond. And by you not sending that message and diving into it, because it would have been something to go back and forth.
Yeah,
it would have allowed
become
you
a thing
to push your feelings onto somebody else.
Yeah.
But you took the higher road and didn't. And so points to you, because what this person did by responding LOL, they're choosing to respond by trying to get a reaction from you, treating your requirement for a vaccine as a joke in their eyes of like, oh, you fell for this line, whatever their reasoning is. They chose to respond as, I need to put my feeling of this as like, this is hilarious. Why would you even have this vaccine requirement? I got to make sure that you know that I think this is dumb to hopefully get you to respond and start this conversation. It's like somebody wants to get their voice heard, so they're trying to just poke the bear. I'm going to poke the bear in this little snarky, like just sideways kind of way. But at the end of the day, so many people could just make such better decisions by choosing how to respond.
Yeah, they don't.
To a situation.
You don't have to. Well, hold on. Yes, if you choose to respond. So many people don't respond; they react.
Yeah,
and the reaction is knee jerk, gut level, visceral. The reaction.
Yeah.
Right.
That person reacted.
Right.
Had they taken the chance to respond, it probably would have been a different message.
Right.
So that's what I agree. Like the response and how we're responding to all of these things online.
It's wild. Yeah. That react is the key thing. Yeah. Like it's just instead of thinking it through, we just automatically, you're on one side and I'm not there. Like you are the devil.
Yeah. I guess like there's so many different facets of this whole vaccine and mask and everything. And like as I was reading through their social media pages, I just
especially and the people that are particularly loud about it,
right,
because like I said, there's a lot of people that choose or don't choose to get this vaccine for lots of different reasons.
Yeah,
but there's a very loud portion of the people who choose not to, who are rambunctious,
right,
for lack of a better word.
Right.
But there's also people who have chosen not to get a vaccine who are not that way.
Yeah.
And who have various reasons that are legitimate for them that don't fall under that. So that's why I just want to be careful of painting with too broad of a brush.
Right. And
so
like,
hard.
I'm not saying that anybody, listen, you choose what you choose. And I've had to also check myself as well. In people that don't get vaccinated just for whatever reason, because I mean, in my eyes, I'm like, listen, I celebrated last night when I finally found the fucking Little Debbie Christmas tree snack cakes. Like I've been looking forward to them. Finally found them. And I had two last night and I was like,
woo.
I was in pig heaven, girl. I was so heaven. That is nothing but fucking chemicals. There's not 1 ounce of any of that that's feeding my body good stuff.
Sure.
You know? So like in my mind, I'm like, if I'm putting stuff like that and alcohol and, other things in my body and around my body, like if what people that study medicine and science have said, hey, this is going to not only help you, but help those that are immune compromised
Yes.
out, then you know what? I'm going to do it. And if I die taking it, trying to make sure that I was doing the right thing, well, you know what? This is how I was supposed to go out. So, and that's my belief.
That's your belief.
So when I see people who make it seem like, well, you're just a sheep.
Yeah.
You didn't do your research and you didn't. And I'm always like, girl, I have a bachelor's degree in asking open-ended questions. What research could I possibly do on Google that's going to be better than a scientist? Like, if that's what's going to take me out, it's going to take me out. But don't make me feel stupid for wanting to do what I feel is right for society,
And
for my
myself.
mom, and for myself to protect myself, because I had COVID and I know what it's like and it's not fun. And who knows what effects we're going to have from this 30 years down the line, you know? So just don't make me, if I'm not going to make you feel stupid, and yes, we had to make that decision because we have older people coming to our wedding,
And it's your
you know,
choice.
and like, but don't make me feel bad about it, or don't make me, I guess it made me feel stupid, like
Well-
with the LOL, like,
And I guess that they felt stupid because they can't come to your wedding.
right. But I guess I'm like, would you rather us put like all the older people that are going to be there who are like have all sorts of issues in danger?
I don't know. Well, I don't know, because like a lot of the places that, because I think some people are like, you know how venues are like, you either need to have a proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't an option. So it's
Mm.
either you're saying vaccinated is it. That's
Right.
the only way. And so if you don't choose that, like that, I'm giving you options.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah. To see
So-
it from all angles, which
Mhm.
you
So
should.
if they're like, well, I'm choosing not to get vaccinated for whatever reason, but I would have done a COVID test for you, but that's not even an option. So LOL, you hurt my feelings. LOL. And now you're like, well, LOL, why you have to hurt my feelings? Don't make me feel stupid. Don't make me feel stupid. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, there's no, why?
Doesn't necessarily.
Like, you know what's not necessary? Pitting against each other in camps where one group is stupid and one group is not.
Right. Because to me, I feel like if I were being, you know, like let's say I had their beliefs, but also being like Miguel, that's like empathetic. And
Right.
I would think like, God, that was probably a hard decision they had to make, because there's probably other people that can't come that they had to, like my brother can't come because for whatever reason, he's not getting vaccinated. And like, am I angry? Absolutely. And I'm very disappointed, but I'm like, whatever, you know, it sucks, but that's his choice. So like, it wasn't an easy decision to make. And so I guess that's what I'm looking for is
Yeah.
a little empathy of like,
Right.
hey, that probably wasn't an easy decision to make.
Right.
And it sucks that we won't be there because we've known Abe and his family forever. And I know this person loves them dearly.
Yeah.
Like, just, I guess a little empathy is what I guess it felt like it was missing.
I get it. And, you know, I think that would help everybody. I mean, it would. Unfortunately, we are like too far down the rabbit hole of social media
yes.
and the
yes.
division of America. And I don't know that we're getting out of that anytime soon.
It just always brings the question in my head, like, what is the turning point? Because it's only been getting worse.
Yeah.
The turning point is it's just going to continue to get like, we're going to cross new thresholds of worseness. I don't know.
That
we
is
can
so
go back.
scary.
I
Think
know.
of what that's going to be in like 5 years.
I mean,
I know.
in a
to
year.
be honest, like one of the podcasts I was listening to where they talk about how do societies like ours that have been great, that have been solid. I mean, like 10 years ago, like, would you ever think what happened January 6th would happen?
No.
Like that would, like, we're America. Like,
We wouldn't.
stop, like, in
Attack
point,
our
like, period.
people.
Like, that's it. Like, we are.
Well, I don't know. We did have an entire ass civil war.
But that was like, but think about like where we are now. Like in our brains, we're like, oh, well, we had to go through that growing pain to like get to where we are.
New
But,
Yeah.
like,
country. Of
we're
course,
America,
yeah.
you know? But like one of the things I was listening to is that like this is how it happens is like it's now not, you know, oh, it's us against them, but we can still come together over. I mean, we couldn't even come together over COVID.
No.
We couldn't come together
A
over
damn virus.
school shootings. I mean, over things that like should be pretty
Cut and straight. Like,
yeah, where we should all be like, you know what? let's
That's
put our
not
arms
okay.
down
Yeah.
and let's come together and say, hey, we're still in this together.
Oh yeah.
But like
We're on
nothing.
the precipice, y'all. We're on the brink.
Like
I don't mean to be a bad news Patty.
No, but it's something to really take into. It's just the bigger pictures where it's like so connected, and everyone has this like loud voice that they want to make just shoved down your throat.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I know.
It just genuinely is.
And what everybody doesn't realize is that we're all fucking one.
Right.
We are one
Right.
race of human beings, and
we're
we're
just trying to take each other out.
gonna take each other right the fuck out.
Man.
Like we're pretending like we're not the same.
Right.
We're like, oh, you're different because of all of these things.
Right.
It could be
No, you're still
anything.
just a human being.
No, you're still fucking a human. So, we could think that, but nobody wants to.
And it just to my core makes me sad that we can't even have decency. And I will put myself in the chopping block.
Absolutely.
That there have been comments I've made on this podcast in the heat of the moment, and especially during the election. And granted, that's sort of like what happens because you're spirited and you're like, why don't you understand my point? But, and if someone has listened to this podcast and you're a conservative, please email me and be like, Miguel, on podcast this date, you're being a hypocrite right now. Please, 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 because I always try, but I'm a human being and my thoughts evolve and I don't remember every single thing I said. But something I saw yesterday, I stopped at a red light and I was just like, why? I was at the intersection of Scott, what's that main street to get to the Largo house?
686.
Yeah, it was 686 in Missouri. And there was this older gentleman, probably in his late 60s, 70s, standing there with probably an American flag jacket, maybe. He had a long yard sign, like a long big sign
Yeah.
with the sign on it. And it was printed in probably 24 font. So you couldn't see it at the red light. You had to get right up on it as you were passing by the intersection.
He was just standing on the corner?
Yeah, just standing on the corner with the sign, just by himself.
Damn.
Literally one lone older man. And as I got closer, all it said was, Biden has dementia.
Oh. Okay.
And I was like,
Well, that's one way to just stand and use your time.
you literally are standing on the corner. You could go volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. You can
Go watch a good TV show.
You could go feed the homeless. There are so many things you could do with your time. Why are you doing that? Like when Trump was our president, it wasn't my favorite. I didn't feel like he represented my interest, but I was always, and like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, I want you to be successful because I live here.
It's our country.
And I don't want somebody to come and bomb me. And I want us to be safe. And I want us to have a monetary system and to live and go to work and be successful. But I hope that when my candidate runs, we defeat you. But while you're actively in office, I want you to do well.
That's the goal because we're
some
all
people
in this
did not
together.
do that also.
Right, exactly.
We've gotten to a point where it's turned into sports teams.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it happened with Obama.
Mhm.
It happened with Trump.
Mhm.
It's happening with Biden. And if you are not on that sports team side
And your team deserves
and
it.
you are a person that feels that for whatever reason you want to go stand on a corner with a sign, you're going to stand on the corner.
I
with
think
a
my
sign.
thing is with those signs that there's a whole other thing with that, like the whole dementia thing. It's like people have that all throughout their family and they're dealing with that right now. And so to pick on somebody with it is just wild. But also the signs that have the F word just printed as large as possible. It doesn't matter who
Yes.
you're effing.
For me, that is just respect for other fellow humans.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether
Whether it was a fuck Trump or a fuck Biden, because I've seen both.
Yes.
And I've seen both in big ass flags going right past my house. Not physically, but when I have my kid in the car, just pass me on the road. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, right.
Oh my God. I totally forgot. A couple weeks ago when I had a broadcast on a Sunday, and it was up in Hudson, and I was leaving it was on 19, way up North Pinellas, and there was a F Trump, and it was F Biden, and it was all over the truck, And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to stay on the other side. So this guy was in one of those big ass trucks and he was driving so aggressively. So I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was like one of those situations where he was trying to like get over to the right, but then like the other person got over to the right. So the other person tried to get over left and they got it over left.
Oh, geez.
And they just kept like, you know,
Weird,
when you get
like-
caught with someone back and forth.
Yeah.
And so then the truck swung out to the left, came up, literally like a movie, almost hit the side of this little car and then flicked them off, then went, got in front of him again, and then made a right turn. And I was like,
I don't know.
that was a mistake. Like, that person wasn't trying to cut you off. They weren't trying to like kill you. They weren't trying to take down your president. Like,
God, people are so angry.
My ego is going wild.
Yeah.
and
this is another thing with kind of bringing it back to social media and how we're so divided nowadays. Like anything is seen as a personal attack. And I blame social media a lot for that.
right.
Because back in the day when you were just watching the television news, things didn't seem like a personal attack on Bob Smith.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. But now it's like since it's right in your hand and you're part of it, it's like anything that gets posted, you have to have an opinion on it. Spoiler, you don't.
You don't. You could keep scrolling.
Like, we weren't meant to have opinions on every fucking thing on this planet. We just weren't. So that, and then since it's so like it's you and it's like your extension of like your entire body, it seems always personal. Like that person driving, like that other vehicle was just trying to get out of your way.
Right.
Like not everything is about you,
Not everything's an attack.
but we've created this environment where everything is technically about you, and it's really toxic. So that's why I'm saying like we're just there's no turning back from here. I don't know what happens. What I do know is that we are expertly being screwed, and we're not even talking about it by this whole Mark Zuckerberg metaverse that he's created, y'all. We haven't even talked about that, and that is about to shut some shit down in the next 5 years. Like, remember when Bill Gates, I saw a clip of Bill Gates talking about the internet with David Letterman back in 1995, and Bill Gates was like, well, it's the internet, so you're going to be able to, like, publish information and send electronic mail and da-da-da-da-da. And Letterman's like, I heard that you could, like, listen to a baseball game on this internet. And Bill Gates is like, yes, you can. You're going to be able to. And Letterman's like, have you heard of a radio? And Bill Gates is like, well, yeah, but you can listen to the baseball game at any time. And like the connect wasn't there.
Right.
And like listening to it nowadays, you're just like, wow, bro had no idea what the fuck was about to hit him. This is what the metaverse is about to be like. I don't mean to like totally take this and hijack it. We can totally go back. But I'm saying like, this is how ingrained that we all are. Like everyone is, you're either on the same side or you're not. If you're not with me, you are against me. Thanks, George W. Bush, right? Like if you're not with me, you are against me. Never mind gray area. Hey, black and white. With this metaverse that Zuckerberg is creating, and he like laid it out, and I didn't really watch it, but then I saw a thing about it, and I watched that, and it's like, it's everything that we thought would happen in sci-fi futuristic dystopian movies, but it's going to be real. Like you live in the metaverse. Like we're going to have, like, you know how we're already on Zoom or Teams meetings, right?
Right.
Now your avatar is going to be doing all of that for you. You don't have to interact in the real world anymore. Like everything is going to be the metaverse.
Is it like WALL-E?
Yeah.
Where basically we'll just
Kind
be
of.
like in our room, like we'll
In
never
our own
actually see
world.
each other, but we'll just put on a headset and we'll like physically just be like big blobs.
Yes.
Oh, that's so freaking
But
weird
then,
to
like-
think of.
I know it is, but like you better
But
start
it's
thinking
true
about
though,
it.
because so many people do that already where they
Right.
sit at home because they could work from home. They plug in their headset and everything is through that screen.
Yeah.
The
It's not-
whole
and
day.
Think about how the pandemic ties in with this, because when the fuck it's not going to be over. We're just going to have to learn how to live with it at some point. Okay.
Right.
But like the people are already like, well, I'm still sheltering in place. And so you're going to take that to the next million D steps of that is like, well, everyone should just stay healthy by staying indoors and you just live in the metaverse. It's easy. But then you just live in the metaverse. And it's supposed to be like everyone's equal in the metaverse, right? Because you can create an avatar to look like anything.
Oh, no.
So if you don't like how you look, You could have blue hair and like, brown skin one day, or,
Oh.
tan skin and pink hair one day. Except that there is going to be a hierarchy, because the people that get in first and the people with more money in the real life, as we jump on there, they're going to have more access to things that happen in the metaverse. And then the last people that get along into the metaverse, because you know how everybody's like gets into new things at different times. Took me freaking forever to get an iPhone. I had a nice little Samsung flip thingy. But so as people get into it at different speeds, there's going to become more haves and have-nots depending on what the sense of currency is in said metaverse. And he's like, he just dropped it and was like, here's this new thing, guys. It's going to be great. And everyone's like, we have other issues to worry about. But that's what we thought with Facebook too, right? That's for college kids. Like, it's
Oh
no
my
big
gosh.
deal. And guess what Facebook is now,
Our
right?
life.
Pervasive. You can't go anywhere without
Everything.
your phone. But it's not going to just be your phone anymore. Like, you have to understand, like, the metaverse. But now I saw an ad where everything, you're going to be wearing glasses.
They have that. Oh my god.
They already have that coming
Ray-Ban
out.
even have this.
Ray-Ban has
They're coming
them.
out in the
Yes.
next 2 years. Like, they're already in like production.
Yeah.
Like, instead of having the internet and your entire computer system in your phone, it's
can't.
going to be on your body, in your head already. And the metaverse, you just flip it right on and you're in. It is like Wall-E. Like, yo, this is coming.
There's a show on HBO
I need to save the world.
called Years and Years, and they sort of deal with, one of the characters deals with something like that, where they don't like their physical body. And so their storyline throughout the show, because the whole like the main storyline of the show is this family in London, and it goes through like, I think maybe 10 years. And it's like Trump got elected to another term, and like this war happens basically. And then like all the fallout of that, even in London. And part of it is one of the characters, who's a teenager at the time, she doesn't like her body. And so something very similar to what the meta is, where by the end of it, she literally is trying to take her soul and her essence and digitize it in the internet.
I feel like I must have seen a trailer or something for this.
It's a really, really, really good show. I might watch it again. It's called Years and Years on
Yeah.
HBO Max now.
Yeah.
So good. But there's a character who deals with that, where literally I just remember one scene where she puts on maybe like a headset or glasses or something, and it's just her avatar. And her mom is like, show me your fucking face. I
Yeah.
have not seen your face in months. Show me your face. And like literally she has to plead and beg for her daughter to take off these glasses or the hat or whatever it is that just shows her avatar.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're headed.
And you know where we're headed to is people being like, well, if that's how you want to be, that's how you want to be. And we'll never see people again after that happens. Like,
We'll
you just won't.
be stuck in a room like Wall-E.
Yes, we're gonna be those roly-poly people.
Wow.
And it's, I mean, it as a parent, it's horrifying. I don't know. Like, but
wonder
it's coming.
If you were in your 30s and 20s in the 80s, did things seem this like bleak looking ahead?
I feel like, how could it though? Because you didn't know the power of the internet.
No,
You didn't know the destruction that could come from everybody being connected and just tearing each other down.
nobody
it was
knew.
exciting.
Nobody knew.
It would
Even
be
until
exciting.
this is another thing, interesting tidbit I saw, where 9/11 was really what changed the internet for us.
Mm.
I mean, it changed our lives too, but like what changed the internet, because from when the internet was created in the late 90s up until 2001, which is bizarre because I'm like in college and we hadn't even had the damn internet for that long.
Mm-hmm.
Internet was like, it wasn't what it is now.
No.
It was
Remember
helpful.
AOL?
Yeah. It was helpful and you could do research, but even as late as like 2004, nothing was instantaneous like it is now. Like it was just it was not fully immersive.
No,
And
like
the
we
reason-
had Amazon back then. Like I remember having Amazon at my 2-year school.
But it was
and
not
I would just for books.
books.
Yeah, that was
Only
it.
books. And
That's
like I say that
wild.
because I remember when the infamous Nipplegate Janet Jackson thing happened. Believe me, we were on Google typing it in. Not one store, even within an hour, nothing on Google. And we were like, where do we get information about Janet's nipple? They didn't have it. That's how it was. But the reason why it changed it in 2001 is because people started craving more information about these terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
There was not anything except for what was the official narrative from the news stations.
Right.
And then it was so traumatizing and so terrifying That's what started alternative news places. And it was the ultra left wing, actually, that was questioning the official narrative of 9/11 from the White House or whatever. And where did I see this? And it was like, well, what are some other theories? And those got branded conspiracy theories, because if you dared to question the official narrative story of 9/11, you must not be that patriotic. And if you're not patriotic, the fuck you doing here? But that's when the internet started to open up to the underground a little bit so that people could talk about other things. But then the government didn't really want you talking about other things. So then the government started flooding the internet with alternative theories, some of them so outlandish that, like, if you even brought up something that might have had some legs, now you're just like, well, you're just grouped in with all those other crazy people. And that's still how it is today. Facebook mostly weighs in on that, because look at how much misinformation is spread on Facebook. And the average person doesn't know it.
No.
And the average person cannot. And I'm even putting us in here because we have a little bit extra training and extra, scrutiny on how to utilize the internet and what's real and what's not. But even us, like we as average people, we often cannot tell.
Well, because it's getting so pervasive and so real. I mean,
yeah.
I've gotten to now where I don't click on anything anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I don't know if I see an ad, if I see something, like there was something I wanted to order for the wedding. Like, this isn't even news. This is just a product.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know if it's real. So I went to the Better Business Bureau site to see if they're
not
on
a bad
there.
idea.
Because I'm just like, you just don't know what is real and what is fake anymore, because that's where we are.
The metaverse comes at you.
And also, these videos, have you seen, I see it all the time on my TikTok, just how people can modify videos and the deep fakes.
Deep fakes are terrifying.
That is crazy. Because it's just somebody doing something that they never did.
Yes.
Right.
It used to be that, as long as there's photographic or video evidence, I mean, you can't lie. It's right there.
But now it's so good that you can't even tell.
I think some actor, it might have been Tom Cruise, couldn't even tell what was a deep fake and what wasn't.
Yeah. I think I didn't read the full story. I just saw a headline on Twitter and I was like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But I think even just recently, as of yesterday, First Lady Jill Biden, she was reading to kids, but someone deep faked it and made it seem like she was cussing at them. And there was this whole conspiracy about, like I said, I didn't read the story. I don't know all the details. And I was like, not even. I'm like, this is where we are.
Literally just think of 3 years, 5 years from now. And that's just it. People are sharing that off the willy-nilly, did you see what they did? I don't know if they did or not. I don't know.
Well, there you go. That's your future you got to look forward to.
Yay!
If you want
to go to the islands and just chill on the beach.
It's called Years and Years on HBO Max if you want to see that.
Fish.
Scott, what is your social media?
I don't even want to share it. I'm getting off.
Come on, let's deep fake Scott.
No, don't. Don't do it.
At Scott Tavlin, SCOTTAVLIN.
Or is it? Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
And mine is Miguel Fuller, or is it? On Instagram, TikTok, all the places that you want. Make sure to leave us a review and a rating. We really appreciate it. And thank you, obviously, for making us the best local podcast in Tampa Bay. Is everyone okay?
Yeah. No, probably not.
This isn't real.
Stop. It is.
Welcome to
our code word is pineapple.
Miguel and Holly and Scotty.
Platypus Posse.
That's right, too. Platypus Posse. If we don't say that anymore, then we're
officially
robots.
Not real. Goodbye.